Alright guys, so we're out here in the shop working on the KX125 here. I was getting ready to throw in the new clutch plates and noticed an issue. So I'll bring you in here and show you. So what likes to happen over time, if you can see there, is you get grooves in the inertia side of the clutch basket. Now generally what you can do is just order a new outer basket. Sometimes they're cheap, sometimes they're not. You can get aftermarket options. You know, always go on eBay, pick up a used one. This isn't the worst I've ever seen, even though I think it looks worse on camera than it does in person. So what I'm going to do here is I've already backed the nut off camera. I'm going to pull this outer basket apart. We're going to put it on the bench, and then we're going to file those grooves down. We don't have to go all the way, so that way we don't make a super big clearance in there for those clutch discs, but just enough so where the clutch discs aren't hanging up, because that's what was happening here. The clutch discs that were in there really weren't all that bad, but the plates could not travel in and out because they were getting hung up in those grooves. So let me set you up here and we'll pull this basket out. We're going to have some thrust washers and stuff we got to pay attention to, so I will put you up right here and you can watch. So pull you down, and I'll zoom you in, and I'll pull you back up. Okay. So obviously we have our rod that comes from the other side, and that goes to the cable and the lever, and that's what takes our outer plate and presses it out and releases the clutch disc so that the engine can spin freely. We can leave that right in there. And we've got our nut. And then our inner basket here. And there is a washer on there, it just didn't come off, so that's fine, we'll leave it there. Oh, yep, see? And there's our washer for the back of the basket, right there. And then there could be another, nope, okay. And then this is our outer basket. Let me go set this on the bench and I'll be right back. Okay, now we can slip out our outer basket. Now this is going to have a big gear on the back that engages with the starter and with the crankshaft. Bearing in there. Okay, there's our outer basket. And you see we got a roller bearing in there, right there. What I'm going to do, because I'm going to have this on the, oh, more than one roller bearing. Okay. So I'm just going to glide all this right back in and just leave it there. And I'm going to take this roller bearing out, just like that. And I'm going to slip it back on there too. So both of those are still in there. Now I don't have to worry about losing anything while I've got this on the bench and we're filing it. So let me set this up there, and then I'll get you set up on the bench tripod, and I'll see you in a second. Okay, we're up here on the bench with the basket. So I've got a couple of files here, and I'm going to do one of these on camera and show you, and then I'm going to shut it off and do the rest because it's going to take me quite a bit. So, I mean, this is a very simple process. I'm going to go with the widest one I have first. And I'm just going to go through, keeping it flat. Remember, files only work one way, so there's no need to go in and out. You just do one-way strokes. And it's working great. You gotta have patience. You gotta take your time. You know, this is gonna save another $100. Take a rag, wipe it off, kind of feel it. I know it's not enough yet, but there we go. I'm starting to feel that all of my spots are kind of coinciding now, and it's getting easier to drag over. So we're just about there. So the trick that I'm doing is I can see the fresh, bright silver aluminum of those high spots. And the way I'm going to do this is that I'm going to keep going slowly like that until I can start seeing fresh silver on the low spot, and then we're good. This side's getting loaded up with aluminum. We can always spin it. Try another side. Let's do this one. We're just about there. Honestly, we could probably stop there, and it's enough of a glide now that the plates would work, but I'm just going to take it right down. It doesn't look like I'm opening that gap too incredibly wide to where this won't still work. So I'm going to do it until we're down to an even level. So now there is a slight taper to this basket if you're noticing how we're starting to get fresh metal right here, but not down here, and that's because this basket is actually tapered this way a little bit. There we go. See, now we're starting to get some fresh on the bottom. So she's starting to even out. We're almost there. Just these front two right here are still a little bit high. That's getting pretty good. You can barely feel these bumps, but I'm just going to keep going until it's nice. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try going this way now and just see how that does. Oh, beautiful. Okay, we're going to do that a couple times. Maybe on an angle like this. Okay, now I'm going to go back the other way. Okay, and that is plenty enough material out. You can still see we got that one little low spot, but I mean it's like a hair of a low spot. So once these new plates get in there and they start wearing in and out, you'll never even know. And then now I've taken out as little material as possible while still getting those ridges out of there. So now the clutch plates will go in and out. I'm going to shut this off now, and I'm going to jam out the rest of these, put some music on, and I will show you the finished product. Okay, guys, we're back here. I've got all these done. As you can see, pretty decent. You know, you're going to see those small microscopic, but those very small low spots that are still there, and that's okay because the clutch plates aren't going to feel that small area, but there's a smooth travel for these plates to go in and out of there now. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this in the house and wash it good with soap and water. You always want to remember, if you work on an engine part, sanding, filing, anything like that, you want to make sure you wash it thoroughly before you try to put it back in your engine. So I will see you guys back here set up at the bike when I got that done. We're back out. Okay, everybody, we're back. I've gotten that clutch basket cleaned up, and I've got everything fairly prepared here. So I'll show you how we throw this back together. You saw us take this basket off, so we're going to throw this back on the same way. Slip it right over top of these, and then we've got to mesh the smaller gear with this, I believe this is the oil pump gear. So now it's going, but it's not dropping in there. So we just got to kind of keep feeling it. And it should find its happy spot, and it's going to, there it is, just right there. There she be. There's the happy spot. Okay. Now you remember we had our washer from the back. So that goes on first. Then we've got this guy here, the inner basket. We put that washer on, so now this goes in. Attaches with the splines, just like that. Now we've got our washer with our notches in it. And that's going to fit right like that. And then our nut. Okay. Now I'm just wondering if I have enough contact. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to double check my work. I'm going to pull this back apart. Just want to make sure that this is fully seated. I'm just going to pull it back off. Just roll this through, make sure it's seated. Well, we saw it drop. We saw it's flush. Okay, we should be good. Just never hurts to double check your work. Just if you're ever unsure, go backwards. Okay. I'm satisfied that it's correct, so we will snug it up. Now there is a tool for this. They make a tool that almost looks like the tool that you tighten your angle grinder with, and it hooks into these and you hold it and then you can torque your nut. I'm going to do it the little bit of a barbaric way, and I'm going to grab a rag and hold this and hit it with the impact. Okay, a little bit there, sorry. Okay. Forward. I grab my rag, sneak my socket in there, and snug it up. Sorry about that. Should have expected that, huh? Happens every time. Okay, now we've got that nut good and tight. I think what I will do though is I'm going to put it on a actual hand tool and give it a hand snug, just to be safe. So take that rag back. I want to grab it. Oh yeah, okay, she tight. That ain't going nowhere. I'm going to have to pick me up one of those tools. Okay. So from here, we can start sliding our plates in. So the direction this goes is metal, at least aluminum for the center basket, and then fiber, and then metal again, except we'll start with our steel discs after our first friction plate, our first fiber plate. So that's where we're going to start. We're going to add one fiber plate. I've got them in our bucket down here in the oil. It's been soaking in for 2 days now. So another thing I'm going to do too is I'm going to keep all of the plates where all these notches line up. So we'll do that first notch is going to be right there. And I'm actually going to roll that up to where we can have our notch straight up and down so I can do it the same every time. Okay, so now we've got one fiber in there. We've got our set of steels. Now these do have a front and a back. They have a rolled edge and then they have a flat edge. And so I don't know if I'll be able to get it close enough in the camera. We'll do it by sound. So I'm going to bring you up to my microphone, and this here is our flat edge, which is our back. And the way that I tell just with my finger is I can run my finger against it and scrape that just like a knife when you feel the edge on a knife. And I can hear it. Now if I do the same thing this way, it's a lot less. It slides off. So that's our flat back edge right there. So that's the way they go. The flat side in first. Obviously these teeth are going to coincide with this inner basket. Just like that. Now we add another fiber. And I make sure I'm going to put our dot up at the top. Another steel. Flat side in. And so on. So I'll do that until we get to the edge. And I'll just kind of speed it up for you. Our last steel. And our last fiber. Now, we've got our pressure plate. And so that rod that goes to the lever to actuate the cable on the other side pops into this hole. And these slide over top of those posts. And now this metal is making contact with that last friction plate. Yep. Okay, just like that. So now we have our, these are EBC heavy duty springs. These are what come with the Tusk clutch kit. So these slide in like this. Okay. Now we have our 10 mil bolts with our washers. And these engage with those threads on those posts. Now this part is tricky. You got to be careful because you have to apply pressure to the spring, but also start this bolt straight in that post or else you will cross thread it, and ask me how I know. There we go. So I just start them like that, and I don't put a tool on those until I got all four in and I know they are threaded in good. See? Okay. One more. And there we go. I'm going to wipe my hands down, and now I can grab a tool and spin those in. So I just do a little bit at a time in a crisscross pattern, apply even pressure. Okay, I know I'm getting down there on threads, so I'm just going to grab a hand ratchet. You do not want to risk snapping off one of those clutch basket posts, or you're into it for a new basket. Hindsight, I should have had a hand ratchet ready, knowing what I was doing, but I did not. Here she be. Okay. Okay, so looking at this, it doesn't look like this is seated in all the way. We're going to take it back apart. Retry. Or is it that we need to keep threading? I don't know. I don't think so. It's not flush with the fibers. I'm going to take this back off. Okay, see, I had to clock it another way. This is why we stop and we pay attention to what we're doing. I didn't have it in the right clock, and so it wasn't sitting all the way down on those. Now we can redo. Even somebody that does this on a daily basis can mess up. It's just knowing that you messed up, or stopping and taking a pause and looking at it before you just start running bolts in. Okay, back to the hand ratchet. Just like that. There we go. New clutch in. Now we can get the cover back on. I'll grab that. So now I did not rip the cover on this gasket, and this is a fairly new gasket. Somebody had been in this before I got the machine. So it's all intact. It's not too squished. We'll be able to put it back on and it'll seal up just fine. Just like that. Now we got a bunch of 8mm bolts here. And which I forgot to grab the socket while I was up. So I'm going to have to get up again and grab that bolt. Okay. Same thing as a wheel. You want to just kind of go around evenly and apply even pressure. There we go. I'm going to grab the hand ratchet though and give those the double check. Yep, see, because that one needed a little bit more, but you can't really feel with the machine. So, yep, a little bit more. A little bit. A little bit. Good. That one's good. We did that one. That one needed a little bit more. Okay. Well, there we go. New clutch installed. That'll be the end of this video, I think. And next video, I will we'll get this fired up and we'll go for another little putt around the property. That's what we'll do. We gotta do some more break-in time on this, so we'll take it for a little rip, break in the clutch, all that good stuff. I'm gonna just change the oil off camera. You don't need to watch me change oil. So until next time, see ya.